What's up, guys? Emmanuel Jones back here with another video, and this time we'll be doing our Week 4 predictions, giving my game analysis and my thoughts, see which teams I think will win Week 4. So yeah. So before I give you my predictions for Week 4, don't forget to put a thumbs up, like the video, subscribe to my channel for more options, and don't forget to comment down your opinion below to see who you think's gonna win. So basically, last week I went 12-4, which I did really good, which that was the best week. And my overall record is 32-16. So yeah. So basically, I chose the Packers to win 24-23, and they lost 34-20. So yeah, we're gonna get things started here. Starting off with the first game, which is a London game. We have the Atlanta Falcons versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars are favored by -3. Obviously, the game is in London. Like I said, it's in London. And, Jacksonville is very good in London. Like, they have been. Like, they almost haven't really lost a game in London. Because I see times where they really beat, like, a team like Baltimore, like Miami. Like, I've seen a time where they really did that. But you know what? This could be the Calvin Ridley revenge game. Because, Calvin Ridley was once a Falcon before for a couple of years. And then remember, he got suspended last year he got suspended for the whole 2022 season. But here's the thing. I kind of feel like this game right here is probably can go a little bit either way. Now last week, for like last 2 weeks, I mean, Jacksonville, hasn't been really putting together recently because here's the thing. Jacksonville, they were like really, like, they wasn't getting their offense going, and their defense is starting to struggle. I mean, their defense can't really stop a nosebleed right now because they've been struggling to stop the pass recently and to stop the run. Of course they have times where they struggle and things like that. So yeah. So basically, I think Jacksonville wins this game because I think they get back on track this week. After coming off those 2 losses, I don't see a scenario where they're going to lose like 3 straight games in a row. Because if they do, this team's in trouble. Because Jacksonville's going to have to get their offense going. And on top of that, they have the better quarterback. They're at home. And there's a more complete team and all that. So, yeah. I expect Jacksonville to win. I expect them to cover as well. But ultimately, Jacksonville has not proven themselves to at least they've been. I think it's probably gonna be a low scoring game. Like I'm gonna say at least 30, 24-20, something like that. Or maybe 17-20, maybe something like that by a field goal. I think they keep this one close. I think Atlanta stays competitive in the game. And also on top of that, Atlanta's offense didn't really impress me because, they didn't really do much to beat the Lions because Devin Ritter was bad. Especially, I think Jacksonville's defense is going to do enough to at least, slow down the run, give Desmond Ritter issues. So, yeah, I got Jacksonville to win and cover. Now, this next game, this is a game of the week. We got the Miami Dolphins playing against the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, Buffalo was favored by 2.5, but I got to change the line a little bit. So, basically, they're favored by 3, almost by a field goal. Now, obviously, this is a game that can go either way, though. But, basically, I just kind of really feel like, with Miami right now. Now, Miami's been coming off consecutive wins straightly, and the Bills have been too. But some people are picking Miami to win because Miami's just playing better football right now. And on top of that, they're starting to get it together so far. While the Bills, are almost starting to not get it together a little bit. But I feel like Buffalo could get better later on in the year. But it could change, but I don't know. But the game is in Buffalo, so I'm going to take the Bills to win this game because the game's in Buffalo. And also on top of that, I just don't really think Miami can match up well with the Bills really good because I have a feeling that with the Dolphins defense, with the Dolphins going on the road in Buffalo is kind of a tough place to play at. But that environment is going to be hard. Miami sometimes not really used to that environment, but we know the Bills are. I just kind of have a feeling that the Bills, like both these two teams have been really consistent lately, but Miami is starting to execute. Like Miami's offense, they're starting to get explosive and they're kind of a little bit too dangerous to stop. And also on top of that, their offense, they're I like how the way they're playing offensively. Tua, he's getting the ball really quick. He's not holding the they're Tua, he's like a really good quarterback. Like he's not really like an elite. Like he's playing at a higher level, and he's not really holding on the ball for so long. He's making big time plays, and also on top of that, no, I have a feeling that the Dolphins, on the offensive line, they're starting to block though better, and they're executing at a higher level as well. That's what I like to see. And McDaniel got his bags and all that. I feel like Miami's probably going to move the football in this game, and they're going to keep it close. Buffalo's probably going to allow like 30 points. But here's the thing I like to say about Buffalo. Now, there's times where Buffalo has beat up bad teams. Like, they beat up like a bad Washington Commanders offense. Because, they beat up a good Raiders offense too, which, they really played well in that game. And then they also beat up against bad defenses as well, like the Raiders. Like, they have a bad defense. But we know the Bills aren't playing the Raiders. They're playing against a different team like Miami, though. Even though they're playing a different team, Miami Dolphins team, whereas they have a really good explosive offense and a really good defense as well. But I feel like there's times where Vic Fangio's probably going to at least confuse Josh Allen, like force him to make the short throws and all that for big plays. So, yeah. So I like what Vic Fangio's doing. On top of that, I just kind of really feel like the Bills, they're kind of a little bit inconsistent, but not that bad. But I just kind of feel like the Bills, I feel like it's going to be a high scoring game. I think the Bills are probably going to put up a lot of points. I think they're going to put up like 30 points. But here's the thing. Because we see in the playoffs, though, where the Bills, like put up 30 against the Bengals and the Chiefs. And all of a sudden, those teams, just go on the road in Buffalo and torch them. But I feel like Miami can do the same thing, but I don't know if it's going to happen, though. Because I just kind of really feel like that, that Tua, that the Bills defense, in order, if they want to, like, at least win their matches against Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, I just kind of feel like they're going to have to at least shut one of these players down. Like, I think the most player they need to shut down is Tyreek Hill. Because Tyreek Hill is the difference maker in this game. Like, they're going to have to find a way to shut down Tyreek Hill. Because if they can't shut him down, then they're going to have to – then he's going to at least catch the ball and he's going to torch you. Like, he's going to do that. And on top, and also, you don't want that to do that. You're going to at least double team him and probably at least, like, force Tua to throw the ball somewhere else. But sometimes Tua might not do it because Tyreek Hill might get open because Tyreek Hill could be his favorite target. So, yeah. So, I just kind of feel like the Bills' defense is probably going to feast in this game a little bit. I think they're going to slow down the run. I think they're going to stop the pass because their defense has been playing extremely well. They're running the football really well. I think they'll do that in this game offensively. And I don't think the Dolphins have enough corners in the secondary to cover Diggs and Gabe Davis and all that. Like, because Jalen Ramsey is still ruled out of the game. And then we know Jalen Phillips is not playing this game, which that's kind of huge for their pass rush. So I think the Bills' offensive line can feast on that. So obviously, I think the Bills win this game because they're just a more complete team. They're at home, they have a better quarterback, better coaching staff. So yeah, I think even though I think Miami's playing better football right now and they're a better team right now, I just kind of feel like that the Bills will win because of that. So I think they're going to keep it close because we understand the playoffs that the Dolphins played the Bills pretty well in the playoffs without Tua, and they still nearly won the game. But I think they keep it close this time. I'm gonna say the Bills win like 33-30 or like 37-33, something like that, more like a touchdown. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Dolphins to cover this game with the points, but I'll take the Bills to win this game at home to give Miami their first L of the season. All right, next game we have the Denver Broncos versus the Chicago Bears. Obviously, Denver's favored by 3. Now, I call this game. This game sucks. Like, it's gonna be like one of the worst games of the week. Like, I'm definitely calling it the toilet bowl. Like that's what I'm calling this game. When both these two teams are winless ahead of week 4, getting close to week 4, I call it the toilet bowl. If you guys never heard of it, I mean, just look it up. So basically, Denver's favored by -3. They're favored for a reason. I don't know. But I call it a trap game because, like I said, it's the worst game of the week. They're both 0-3. They're trying to look for their first win in the season. And that's kind of hard to say because both these two teams suck. Because the Broncos suck and the Bears suck. So those are like two of the worst teams in the AFC and NFC. Like bottom of it. Like bottom 10. So yeah, I think this game right here is going to be super close and it will be competitive, but I don't think it's going to be like a high scoring game because the Broncos, offense, they can't really score any points. And the Bears can't either. So they both could have the worst offense in the league. But the defenses are totally atrocious. Like the Broncos defense isn't good, but the Bears can't throw the ball. And the Bears, offensively, they have struggled in times. They've been struggling to move the ball against good defenses. But you know what? Justin Fields, is playing against a defense that is not great. Well, I think the Bears can definitely move the ball against. But the Broncos pass rush is a little bit inconsistent. But I think the Broncos defense is okay, but not great. Now, the Broncos do have some injuries in the secondary, with Simmons is probably questionable to play and all that. And the Bears got so many weapons on offense and all that. So I think the Bears can definitely do enough on offense to move the ball. But man, I don't know. This is a tough to choose. You know what? It's tough to choose because it's the biggest trap game. Like, it's the hardest choice to choose. You know what? It's gonna be a close game, and I don't think it's gonna be. I think this game is gonna get ugly, but obviously, I'm going to take the Broncos to win the game. And the reason why I'm taking the Broncos to win the game is that I like how the way they're doing offensively, putting points on the board. I mean, Denver did not look pretty good last week against the Dolphins because, their defense gave up 70 points on the Dolphins. And all of a sudden, the offense was not looking so good. Even though they didn't stay competitive, but they was doing a good job offensively, moving the ball to score 20. And, they scored 30 points like the week before last, which that's good. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout, though. It's going to be close. I think Denver's probably going to score at least like 20 points in this game. And on top of that, I just think that, that the defense is going to come to play. I think that Denver's defense is going to at least like make some big time stops in this game. I feel like Patrick Surtain and DJ Moore is a really good matchup. Simmons and Cole Kmet could be a good matchup if Simmons play. And then Denver's offensive line is not as bad as you think. So yeah, I think they should be able to move the football, especially against a Bears defense, which is the worst in the unit. And Russell Wilson, can do enough, to make some big time plays, make some throws, play outside structure, read the defense, and all of a sudden. So yeah. So I think Denver's gonna at least like move the football against the Bears defense. So basically, I'm gonna take the Broncos to win, and I'm gonna take the Broncos to cover. I'm gonna say they win at least by 10 points. If not, maybe they win like 10 plus points. If I think they can definitely win by 10 plus points if Denver, offense can move the ball in this game. So yeah. So I'm gonna say the score be like 20-10, something like that. So yeah. So give me the Broncos to win and cover straight for their first win and the victory. All right, next game we have the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland was favored by 1.5 or something, but the line changed, but now it's 2.5. Now I call this another trap game here because the game can go either way, and the Ravens are coming off a loss against the Colts, and then the Browns are coming off a really big win against the Titans. Obviously, we don't really know about Deshaun Watson's. We don't know about the status for Deshaun Watson because I heard the report saying that Watson is questionable to play due to a shoulder injury because I believe that he's been practicing all week. And while the Ravens, they're dealing with some injuries too. They're dealing with some injuries too. Bateman is dealing with the hamstring and he's ruled out for the game. OBJ is ruled out for the game due to an injury. I mean that's huge for the receivers. Some players on their offensive line is hurt. Like Ronnie Stanley could be out due to an injury. Defensively, they're dealing with some injuries, especially in the secondary. Marlon Humphrey's out with a foot. Kyle Hamilton's actually questionable to play because he has a back injury because, he hasn't been practicing. So most of their key players, like some of their players on defense in the secondary, is probably questionable to play due to the injury. Due to, some of their players have not practiced all week. Now we know that Odef Owe is out due to an injury. So they're dealing with so many injuries. And plus, Tyus Bowser is dealing with the injury too. So he's hurt. So I don't know if he's going to be able to play soon. Because he's been on reserve for a while. So Ravens are dealing with so many injuries, though, on defense. And especially on the offensive line. Now, the Ravens kind of really did not kind of really blew this game to the Colts because, the Ravens, they should have at least beat the Colts, and the reason why they lost to the Colts because defensively they couldn't really do enough to contain Gardner Minshew, and all of a sudden they won the game-winning field goal, and all of a sudden by the end of the game, Justin Tucker missed a game-winning field goal at the end of the fourth quarter. So yeah, so the game was kind of fluky. While the Browns, they've been playing really good so far. Like this team's been playing really well. Offensively, they're starting to get things going. They're moving the football. Defensively, they're starting to is playing really good. Now we did because I like what they did against the Titans. They really beat up a bad Titans offensive line. They really, I mean the Titans didn't really do much in that game because the Browns they've been their defense was really stopping the run. They were stopping the pass, making some big time stops. And then Watson, had a really good game though, where he had like 250 plus yards and 2 tutties. They were able to stop the run in this game, and they were able to get pressure and all that, So their defense is playing really good right now. Now, there's a scenario that I could definitely pick the Browns to win because of how well they've been playing. And, they've been showing that they're the better team in that division right now. But I'm not sure about Watson's status for this game. But if he plays, I could definitely pick the Browns to win. But if he doesn't, I could definitely go with the Ravens here. So I'm probably going to say he does play for right now and maybe until something changes. But even though the game's in Cleveland, I don't think it really matters. So I'm going to go with the Ravens here because to get back on track after a tough loss against the Colts, I just kind of feel like I think the Ravens will win is because I just think that the Ravens, are just a more complete team. They have the better quarterback and all that. And I just kind of really feel like that, that the Ravens can do enough to move the football against the Browns defense. And Lamar can probably make some magic happen in this game. So, yeah, I think the defense is going to find a way to contain Deshaun Watson and all that. But I think that the Browns are going to move the football in this game, knowing that the Ravens secondary is kind of getting a little shaky due to the injuries. So, yeah. So, I think the Ravens win this game, but I'll take them to cover as well. Because, some people... Now, the hardest part is saying that the Browns could have the number one defense in the NFL. Which I don't really know if I agree with that, but that's what they rank. But that's what they say. So, obviously, I think the game will be closer than we expected. Because, last year, these two teams split with each other. The Ravens won the first matchup, and then the Browns won the second matchup with Deshaun Watson playing, and Lamar didn't look good in that game. So, I'm going to say the Ravens at least win. I think it's going to be a little bit of a defensive game. I'm going to say 23-16, something like that. So, yeah. I take the Ravens to win and the Ravens to cover. All right, next game, we have the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Tennessee Titans. Cincinnati's favored by 2.5. Now, obviously, Bengals are definitely coming off a win against the Rams. Titans are coming off a really big loss against the Cleveland Browns. Obviously, I don't care where the game is because I got the Bengals winning this game. And the reason why I got the Bengals winning this game is because the Bengals, they're the more complete team, has better quarterback, better coaching staff, and all that. So, that's pretty much why I got the Bengals win this game. Now, one person might pick Tennessee to win because of that pass rush, but I don't think so because I just don't really trust Tennessee's offense, especially against that Bengals pass rush, because the Bengals pass rush is definitely pretty darn good. We definitely seen the Bengals defensive line put up sacks, put up pressure against Matthew Stafford. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 sacks. 7 sacks against a Rams offensive line that's totally not good. The Bengals defense, I think the Bengals defense does win this game here. That pass rush with B.J. Hill, Trey Hendrickson, Sam Hubbard, DJ Reader, that's a problem, man. It's going to be a test against that Titans offensive line, which is not great. Now, a lot of people's going to be saying that Joe Burrow's hurt and all that. Do you think I know that? Do you think I know that? And I do know that. And on top of that, I feel like their offense are just going to win their matchups, though, with Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. They're going to win their matches against them. Because I don't think the Titans really have any corners though. Like I feel like their corners stink. So yeah. So I just kind of feel like that Joe Burrow's gonna do enough to make some big time plays down the field. And I'm predicting that he's gonna have at least like 300 plus yards. That's what I'm gonna say against the Titans. Because Ryan Tannehill was awful last week against the Browns. Like he didn't have no time. They definitely he got sacked like 5 times. And Titans can't really pass the ball. Like they can't. Like Tannehill did not play his best game. Like he only had like 104 yards against the Browns because the Browns defense feast on that. Because the Browns defense was stopping the pass. And I think the Bengals can do that in this game. Because, the Bengals have some really good corners here, and they'll find their matches against the Titans receivers core. Like, they will. But if the Bengals, get up early and blow them out, I would not be shocked. Like, I can see it happening, though. Like the Browns game where, what they did to the Titans. They really blew them out because their defense feasted on them. Because their defense dominated that game. So, obviously, I think the Bengals win this game. But I say they're going to keep it a little bit close because both of their pass rushes are really good. So I'm going to say Cincinnati wins 24-17, something like that. So yeah, I think the Bengals win, and I think the Bengals cover. All right, next game we have the LA Rams versus the Indianapolis Colts. Colts, they're favored by 1 point. Obviously, they're favored for a reason. I don't know. The Rams were favored in this game to win for a little bit until the lines kept changing back and forth. So yeah. But obviously this game could definitely be a trap game because it can go either way. Now most people are kind of picking the Colts to win because the Colts really, really did well. Because the Colts, have been playing really well so far. Shane Steichen has been getting good game plans and all that. They're moving the ball offensively. Defensively, they're playing really good. But here's the deal. This is a Matthew Stafford, Sean McVay versus Anthony Richardson, Shane Steichen. Like Anthony Richardson's a rookie quarterback. Shane Steichen's a rookie head coach. I'm taking the proven coach combo, which is the Rams to win this game. I think the Rams get back on track this week because they have a better quarterback, better coaching staff. And I just kind of really feel that the Rams, I like what they're doing on both sides of the ball. Now, offensively, they weren't able to block. Like the O-line did not do a good job, but it's playing better. And then defensively, they're starting to play a lot better and all that in terms of their side of the ball. Like the pass defense is playing good. The run defense is playing good. I mean, yeah, I like what the Rams are doing so far in that scenario. Like they showed a lot of fight for the past couple weeks, even though the Colts are been showing a lot of fight. So I just kind of really feel like that, I just kind of feel like the Colts. I feel like they keep this one close because I feel like that the Colts, they're gonna put up a fight here because their defense is playing well. But I don't think the Colts really have the corners, to match up well with the Rams receiving core, like Puka Nacua. If he plays, I think Puka can play, and he could have a good game here because he's been playing really well. I think this guy can definitely be a stud at wide receiver. Because the Rams' offense is starting to work really well, and they're starting to stay balanced. I think the Rams move the football offensively, and I think the defense can definitely make some plays. So yeah, but I could definitely see a scenario where the Colts pass rush can give the Rams offensive line issues. But I think with the Rams O lines playing good, I think the Colts feel like they'll find a way to at least control the Colts pass rush. And they're playing, and the Rams are an underrated human. They're playing like they're a good team right now. So yeah. So basically, I am going to take the Rams. So basically, Raheem Mostert had a good game plan and all that, where he shut down good offenses, and Sean McVay is gonna find that material where he attacked Gus Bradley's defense, which Gus Bradley sometimes does a good job blitzing, but sometimes he doesn't. So basically, I think the Rams found a way to win this game, but I am going to say they keep it close here. I'm going to say the Rams win I'm going to say the Rams win I'm going to say 23-16, something like that, or maybe 20, something like that, or maybe 23-16, 21 to 16, something like that. Something like a lower scoring game, something like that. So basically, I'm going to take the Rams to win, but I am going to take the Rams to cover as well. All right, next game we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus New Orleans Saints. Saints are favored by -3.5. Obviously, some people are picking the Bucs to win because we don't know if Derek Carr is going to play. But even if he doesn't play, I don't think it matters though, because I still got the Saints to win this game because the Saints are at home and they own the Bucs and they played the Bucs and they played the Bucs really well. Even when Tom Brady was on the Bucs, they really played. They really have beaten the Bucs several times. They haven't. The Saints, their defense, knows how to play the Bucs offense pretty well, and they've been good in that, and they've been playing the Bucs offense really good. Tell me though, the only reason why they lost the last game against them is because the Bucs offense was moving the football, they was controlling the clock, and Tom Brady just came through, make some big time plays, big time throws, and all of a sudden they just went for the game winning touchdown to end the game. That's pretty much why they lost that last game. But they lost the first game because they gave up 20 points on them and all that. But you know what? This is a different Bucs team that the Saints is playing because this is Baker Mayfield playing this game. Now the Bucs did not really look as good as they were last week against the Eagles because I thought their defense played really good in the first half until they start getting sloppier. That's when the offense wasn't getting it going and all that. So yeah, I think the Bucs defense can definitely give the Saints offense some issues because Todd Bowles does a good job blitzing and all that. So yeah. So obviously, I think the Saints move the football in this game offensively because Bucs are dealing with some injuries in the secondary because Jamel Dean could be out due to an injury, Carlton Davis could be out due to an injury as well. So yeah, I I kind of really feel that with the Bucs, and then I just found out that that the Bucs defense could be dealing with some injuries because Kalijah Cansey is out due to a calf injury. Vita Vea is questionable. So yeah, and yeah, such and such like that. Offensively, they're getting healthier. But the thing is that we know that Russell Gage is out for the season because he has an injury and all that. So yeah. So I think they keep this game close, and I think it's gonna be a little bit low scoring. But I got the Saints to win this game because they're at home. I think they're a more complete team and have the better coaching and all that. So yeah, I got the Saints to win, but give me those points with the Bucks. I think the Bucks keep this one close. I think they stay in the game. I think they move the football in this game. I think their offense is gonna get into some sort of rhythm. They're gonna stay balanced. Baker Mayfield's probably gonna make some big time plays and all that. So yeah. So basically, I think it's gonna be a low scoring game. So I'm gonna say at least like 23-20, something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Bucks plus the 3 points and a half, but I'll take the Saints to win the game. All right, next game we have the Washington Commanders versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles is favored by 8. Now that's kind of a big number though. Actually, they're favored by 9.5 now, which that's a big number. So obviously, I think the Bucks are they're 9.5 favorites. So obviously, I got the Eagles win this game because Eagles they're at home, they're better quarterback, better coaching. I mean, I cannot trust Commanders as well, especially offensively. They were bad against the Bills. Like they were beat up so badly. Like the Bills defense put up not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven, not eight, but 9 sacks. Like the Bills really got pressure like a lot, and they put up 9 sacks on Sam Howell. Like they really did. The Bills defense really like Commanders couldn't really move the ball because the Bills defense did feast on that. Because their defense Sam Howell did not have a good game because he only had 4 interceptions and 170 yards, which that's terrible. I mean, Sam Howell was really terrible though last week. Like Washington's offense did not was able to keep it going, and all of a sudden they had like 5 turnovers in that game, which that's crazy. I just don't like how Washington did play, but I think they do keep it competitive and keep it close this game because I think Washington's gonna play the Eagles tough in this game because they have a really good front four and Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat, Chase Young, and Deron Payne. Those guys are really gonna be tough to at least like handle. But I think the Eagles have the better old line, which I think they'll do a good job slowing down their pass rush. And I don't think Washington's secondary is that good. So I feel like A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert, those guys are going to be tough to cover. I think they'll do enough to run the football because the Eagles did a really good job running the football last week. Because their running game is starting to get going, though. And it's starting to work, so yeah. Especially defensively, they're playing really good. So I feel like Washington's offensive line is atrocious. So I feel like that the Eagles' defensive line is going to give the Commanders' offensive line issues. And on top of that, they have the secondary, to like play some man coverage against Commanders receiving core. Like they'll find a way to cover Commanders receiving core. Like Slay and Terry McLaurin's a good matchup. And then Bradbury and Dawson's a good matchup. So yeah, I think the Eagles are probably gonna win their matchups. They'll outside the line of scrimmage. So I think they're gonna do that in this game. Like I think the Eagles, they can at least like look at that Bills game to see how the way that Bills defense really feasts on that. I think they can at least look at that Bills game to see how the Bills really defense really dominated that game, like forcing like 9 sacks, forcing like 5 turnovers, getting big time stops. They can look at that game. I think the Eagles can do the same thing too. Like they can get some pressure, get some big time stops. So yeah, I think the Eagles win this game, but I think it's gonna be a lot closer because I think Washington's offense might move the ball because sometimes the Eagles' defense sometimes struggles against like good offenses. So I think they keep this one close. So I think Philly, wins. like I'm gonna say like 24-13, something like that, or like 24-20, because we know 9 is a lot of points. So I'm gonna take the Eagles to win, but Washington to cover. All right, next game we have another worst game of the week, which is the Minnesota Vikings and the Carolina Panthers. Wow, this is like the worst game of the week. Like, I can't believe this. Two of the worst offenses. I mean, I call this another game another toilet bowl for me. I'm calling this another toilet bowl. Like, like same thing like the Bears and the Broncos game, which I call that the worst game of the week and a toilet bowl. I mean, this game right here is going to be the worst game of the week. No one wants to watch it, and we know I'm not going to bet on this game. Like I said about the Broncos and the Bears game, I'm not going to bet on that game because that's the worst game of the week, and nobody might not want to watch it. Same thing with the Vikings and Panthers. Nobody would probably want to watch that game because both these teams are out winless, and that game's probably the worst game of the week because both these two teams are trying to look for their first win of the season. So basically, Minnesota's favored by 4.5. I call it a trap game because I don't know because it's hard to say who will win because both of their offenses suck because both these two teams suck in this game. But I don't know if Bryce Young is playing. But I heard the news that Bryce Young is going to play because he's off the injury report, which that's good. But I don't really think it really matters though because the Panthers' offense with Bryce Young, they've been really atrocious. Like, their passing offense has been really bad. Like, Bryce Young is not really playing as good. Like, he's not completing passes. They're having too many missed opportunities where receivers kept start dropping the ball. Bryce Young throwing the ball into coverage. And all that. So, yeah. I mean, their passing offense has not been really good. While the Vikings, the Panthers' defense has not been really good as well. They're dealing with some injuries though, because most of their players, one of their players is out for the season, one of their players on IR. So, which that's kind of huge to say. While the Vikings, there are like, and the Vikings, they're like really good. Like like the Vikings, they've been really competitive in some of their games, but they have not been competitive of being the winner in one of their games. Like, their offense is pretty good, but their defense stinks. I mean, the Vikings, their passing offense is playing really good right now. Like, they've been playing like in their hearts, like they're playing with a lot of heart right now. That's what I love to see. Because they've been showing a lot of fight against teams like that team like the Bucs that they play, they show a little fight, and a team like the Chargers, they show a little fight. So yeah. But the only reason why that they lost to the Chargers last week is because, the Chargers put up 4 sacks. The O-line was not playing as good. Then Kirk Cousins threw an interception and all that. So, yeah. And Justin Jefferson had a good game, and Keenan Allen had a really fast game. He only had like 215 yards and 18 receptions, which that's really, really good. And, Kirk Cousins, he's playing really good right now. Like, he's throwing the ball for like 350 plus yards a game. Like the Vikings passing offense is really good. And the defense stinks so far. So I think the Panthers might be able to move the football in this game and all that. So yeah, I think they keep it close, but I got the Vikings win this game because I have no trust in the Panthers passing offense right now. Because even though their passing offense did play really well, even without Bryce Young, but with Bryce Young, it has been really atrocious and not been good. So I got the Vikings winning this game because their passing offense is better. They're throwing the football a lot more. And the Panthers got some injuries on defense, so I feel like Justin Jefferson is going to have a big game. And I feel like their running game has not been really good, so I think Minnesota can do a good job moving the football. So, yeah. Then I think the Vikings, even though their defense isn't good, I think Brian Flores is gonna find a way where he can confuse the rookie, like confuse Bryce Young, and force him to make those underneath throws. So yeah, I think the Vikings, win this game. I think the Vikings win, but I'm going to take the 4 point. Give me the 4 points with the Panthers. I think the Panthers are going to cover this game. I think they keep this one close. I think offensively they're going to move the football. And all of a sudden, so yeah. So I'm going to say the Vikings win like I'm going to say like maybe 24-20 or maybe like 30-24, something like that. Or maybe like 23-17. So I think they keep this one close. So yeah. So give me the Panthers with the points, but the Vikings to win the game because they have the better quarterback, and all of a sudden, and have the better passing offense for right now. So yeah, that's why I'm picking the Vikings to win this game to get their first dub of the season. All right, next game we got the Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Houston Texans. The Steelers are favored by -3. Obviously, this is a good game. This game right here is kind of a little bit interesting. A little bit. It can almost go either way, but not quite. But I was watching an NFL Week 4 predictions video saying that they picked the Texans to win this game. Whoever picked the Texans to win this game is definitely on drugs, is definitely smoking dope, and could be high or they could be drunk or anything like that. But I am not taking the Texans. I'm taking the Steelers to win this game because I do not trust a rookie quarterback against that defense of the Steelers because we know the Steelers defense is elite. Like the Steelers defense is elite. And they can definitely give your offensive line issues. Like the Texans offensive line is pretty darn good because we know that CJ Stroud had a really good game against the Jaguars, but that was against the Jaguars defense that's bad, but they're not playing the Jaguars. They're playing the Steelers. Like the Steelers defense, the Texans defense has been playing really good efficiently though, and I think they keep this one competitive and keep this close in this game. I think they do. Because of how well the Texans are doing offensively, moving the football, passing the football, and defensively they're playing really good. I think they keep this one close. But on the other side, the Steelers defense is playing really, really darn good so far. Like for 2 weeks. Because I think the Steelers defense is going to confuse the rookie, get some pressure. They're going to stop the run, get CJ Stroud uncomfortable in the pocket. And I feel like Kenny Pickett, even though the Steelers offense isn't good, I think the Steelers defense is going to win this game. Like, I think their defense can. But I think they could go for some touchdowns. Like, I think the offense might get in some rhythm, though. Steelers did put up 23, which that's good, but yeah. So, basically, I got the Steelers to win this game, but give me those points with the Texans. Because I think they're going to keep this one close and competitive, though. So yeah. Because I think CJ Stroud is going to make some big plays. And I think he's probably going to do enough to throw the ball through the air against that Steelers secondary. I think he can do that. And some of the weapons that the Texans have on offense, they're young, which I get it, and they're stepping up. Like Nico Collins stepping up, Tank Dell stepping up, and all those guys are stepping up on offense. That's what I like to see. So yeah. So I think this Texans keep this one close. So I'm going to say the Steelers win like 20-17, 24 to like 20, something like that, 20, something like that. I'm going to say at least like 20-17, like a lower scoring game. Knowing that the Steelers, offense sometimes can't score any points. So I'm going to take the Texans to cover the 3, but I'm going to take the Steelers to win the game. All right, next game we have the Las Vegas Raiders versus the LA Chargers. Chargers are favored by -5. Obviously, this is a game that can definitely go either way a little, but not really. But last time when these two teams played, they both split with each other because we know the Chargers won the first matchup and the Raiders won the second matchup. But now we've heard the news that Jimmy G is ruled out due to a concussion injury. Because he was practicing, though, and then he was still in concussion protocol. I mean, the Raiders' offense efficiently was not. The Raiders are definitely not looking so good so far because offensively, they're not really looking as good as they used to be. They're not moving the football really well. They're getting shut down. Especially the defense was definitely playing really good last week against the Steelers. But Jimmy G lost in that game. So basically, we don't know who's going to start for the Raiders. Either it's going to be Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connell. But it doesn't. I don't really know. I got the Chargers winning because the Chargers are at home. They have the better quarterback. And on top of that, I just think they're just a more complete team. And all of a sudden, I mean, yeah, the Chargers. We understand they got some injuries. Injuries they got. I mean, because the Chargers got some injuries and all that. Because they have one player injured on the offensive line. Corey Linsley is questionable because he has an illness, but now he's going to be on IR. Now we know Mike Williams out for the season. Derwin James is questionable to play. Derwin James, Joey Bosa, they're both doubtful to play with hamstrings injury. Austin Eckler is doubtful to play due to an ankle, so they're dealing with some injuries right now. So most of these players are definitely could be ruled out. So which means the Raiders offensively are going to move the ball, but I don't think they're going to pass the ball as much. So, yeah, I think the Chargers, defense, they have a better defense in the game. Like, they have the corners, to cover Devontae Adams and Cody Myers and Hunter Renfrow. Then they have the pass rush to at least stop the run and get after the quarterback. But, the Raiders defense dealing with some injury. We don't know if Max Crosby going to play. He's questionable to play. And now we heard news that Chandler Jones, the Raiders cut him for a personal reason. And we know the pass defense sucks anyways. Like, the Chargers, they got more weapons to deal. Like, they'll still look fine on offense because, they got Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Gerald Everett, Quentin Johnson. I mean, how are you going to cover all these guys when you don't have any corners? Like, how are you going to do that? Like, the Chargers are going to look pretty darn good on offense. Like they did for, the past couple weeks. Like, they will. And they're going to score some points, too. So, yeah. So, by the way, I got to change the spread number because they're favored by 6. Because we know how the line be doing, every day and all that. So, I got to change that. So, yeah, they're favored by 6 anyways. So, they're as much better. So, I got the Chargers to win this game. at least by double digits. But I don't think the Raiders are going to cover, but I think they can as long as the offense plays good. I'm going to say like 24-16 is my final score. That's what I like to say. 24-16. So I got the Chargers to win, but I'm going to take the points with the Raiders. I think the Raiders do cover this game to keep it close. So yeah, I got the Raiders to cover, but the Chargers to win the game. All right, next game we have New England Patriots versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are favored by 6.5. Actually, they're favored by 6 in this game. So yeah. Oops. They're favored by 6 in this game. So yeah. So basically, this game right here, it's gonna be really fun to watch. Now, Patriots are definitely coming off a loss they're coming off a win against the Jets. Dallas is coming off a big upset loss against the Cardinals. Now, basically, one person picked the Patriots. I was watching an NFL Week 4 prediction, and someone picked the Patriots to beat the Cowboys, which I don't believe is going to happen because whoever did that could be a drunk, could be on drugs, or could be smoking dope or anything like that. Because I'm not picking the Patriots to win despite the win last week. I'm picking the darn Cowboys to win this game because the Cowboys are a more complete team. They're at home. And I just kind of really feel like I just don't have no trust in the Patriots offense right now scoring some points. Like, I just don't think this Patriots offense can score some points. Now, I know this is going to be the Zeke Elliott revenge game, but Dallas defense is going to feast in this game. Like, it's a problem, man. I mean, Micah Parsons is a problem for that pass offensive line, so I think this Cowboys defensive line will feast this game. And they have the secondary, to at least like cover the Patriots receiving core. Like, I feel like Gilmore and Juju is a good matchup. But I just don't really know if Dallas is going to be able to move the ball against this Patriots defense, though, which that's my concern because Dak Prescott sometimes he has trouble reading the defense. Like, I wasn't really impressed with the Cowboys' offense last week because they weren't able to move the football against a bad Cardinals offense. And their defense literally couldn't really stop Josh Dobbs on a read option. Because they got ran on. And their offense literally just didn't really move the football. So, no. So, basically, I think the Cowboys' offense does stay balanced in this game. I think they get it. I think they're going to get it going. I think they get back on track this week. And I just feel like Dak Prescott, he's going to make some plays in this game outside of structure. And I think Dak Prescott is going to I think this old line for the Cowboys is definitely gonna it's definitely gonna get some time to move the football, and I just think they're gonna do a good job slowing down the Patriots pass rush because the pass defense didn't really play as good last week until they start playing better the end of the quarter. Like, the pass defense did play good last week, but I think they can. So yeah, I think they can get pressure on Mac Jones and all that, and get after him and all that. Get him some tough positions and all that. So yeah, so I think they keep this one close. So I'm gonna take the Cowboys to win, but I will give me the points with the Patrons. I think they keep it one close. I'm gonna say it's gonna be like a low scoring game. I'm gonna say 24-20, something like that. Maybe Dallas wins by a field goal. Maybe they win by a defensive stop. Maybe by a turnover. by the end of the game, something like that. So yeah. So yeah, because I remember these last time these two teams played, Dallas beat them and the game was in overtime. So I don't think this game will be in overtime this time. So I'm gonna take the Patriots with the points, but I got the Cowboys to win the game. Next game, we have the Arizona Cardinals versus San Francisco 49ers. 49ers is favored by 14, but that's a big number and that's a big spread here. So yeah, Cardinals are definitely coming off a really unexpected upset win against the Cowboys, while the Niners are coming off a big Thursday night win against the Giants. Obviously, Niners are coming off a Thursday game, so I got the Niners win this game. And the reason why is that the Niners, are just a more complete team, better quarterback, better coaching staff. I mean, yeah, we understand the Cardinals played really well against the Cowboys. Josh Jacobs kind of had a good game. But I don't think they keep this one close, though, in this game. I think the Cardinals, like I said, even though despite the win, they're still the worst team in the league, the Niners' defense is going to feast in this game. Like, they're going to dominate this game, and they're going to dominate the line of scrimmage. But I am concerned about the injury what the Niners have. Deebo's questionable to play due to a knee injury. Jennings is questionable. Is doubtful with a shin.
Just give me a shower now. Here's your thing. Getting that shower tonight, man. Put all this stuff in one drawer. Stuff is in this drawer down here. I'll change your bed clothes. Did you finish eating your food up?
No, I haven't finished yet.
You need to eat it because you really...
And basically, I just gotta really fight at the Niners. So yeah, that's kind of concerning for the Niners, no. So yeah. So easily, despite the injuries that Niners have, even though they rule some of them out, I still think they win and they cover big. So yeah. So I say they're gonna put up like 30 plus points in this game, like they did last time. I'm gonna say at least like 35 or like 38, like 40 something. They could put like 40 in this game. Like I would not be shocked that they did. I'm gonna say at least like 37-13, or maybe like 34-17 or 16, something like that. So yeah. So Niners win, Niners cover. All right, next game we have the Kansas City Chiefs versus New York Jets. The Chiefs are favored by -8.5. Now I understand that's a big number and it's not like a big spread, it's kind of like a big number. So basically, obviously, this is not the Aaron Rodgers versus Patrick Mahomes matchup, but now this is missed again for the third straight time. Because we know we missed a matchup because Patrick Mahomes. Now, back in 2019, Patrick Mahomes hadn't had a chance to play against him because Patrick Mahomes had a knee injury. And second of all, Aaron Rodgers had COVID. And third of all, he tore his Achilles. So this is the third time they won't meet against each other, which is kind of sad to see. So this is going to be, but sadly, it will be Patrick Mahomes versus Zach Wilson. Now, I know this game can a little bit go either way because I understand that the Jets defense is pretty good. But Zach Wilson sucks. Like, I cannot take Zach Wilson because Zach Wilson is just a bum. So this means I got to take the Chiefs to win this game because the Chiefs are good on primetime, especially Sunday Night Football. They have a better quarterback, better coaching staff. They're a more complete team. And also on top of that, the Chiefs, are just... And that's about it. I think their O-line is going to do a good job slowing down the Jets' pass rush and all that. They're going to find a way to do that. And they're going to run the football. enough. The Jets defense it's playing okay, but not great. But I think the Jets defense can get some issues because, they have the secondary to slow down the passing game. Which I don't know if the Jets can really do that though, because the defense, for like the week before last didn't play that good against the Cowboys passing game because they let up 30. So I think they keep this close in this game and competitive though. So I think the Chiefs are going to move the football, and especially I think their defense is pretty good. Especially they've been playing good for like the past couple weeks. I think the Chiefs defense, I think they find a way to like get some pressure on Zach Wilson, make him uncomfortable in the pocket, and I think they'll stop the pass really good because Zach Wilson with the Jets passing offense has not been really good lately with Zach Wilson at quarterback. So yeah, because some games he's not really playing really good. So even if they get a different quarterback, it could change. So basically, I got the Chiefs to win and the Chiefs to cover. So I'm gonna say they win like 24-20, something like that, or maybe like 27-17. Maybe they win by double digits. Like I don't know if the Jets are gonna be able to score like 10 points. Like I don't know. I don't know if they're gonna score more than 10 points, which that's kind of bold. So I'm gonna say they win like 27-10, something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna take the Chiefs to win and the Chiefs to cover. All right, then last game we have the Seattle Seahawks versus the New York Giants. Now Seattle's favorite by 2. Now I called the track game for some reason because one person picked the Giants to win, but obviously this is the East Coast team playing. This is a West Coast team traveling towards East Coast, which is not easy to do. But at the end of the day, I kind of have a feeling that the Seahawks are going to win. Now, even though the Seahawks pass defense has not been playing good and run defense has not been playing good, I think the Seahawks will win this game. And the reason why I think Seattle wins this game is because I think Seattle is just a more complete team in this game. And they're playing good on offense recently. But we understand that Geno Smith has issues against the blitz and all that. But I think the Giants are going to move the football in this game. And especially the Giants' defense has not been playing good as recently. And, Seattle's offense is going to move the football in this game and all that. And I just kind of really feel like their defense, I feel like they have the corners to match up well with the Giants' receiving core. Like the Giants, they don't really have the weapons on offensively like Darren Waller. Outside Darren Waller, the receiving core is really not as good. So I think the Seahawks defense can feast on that. And I feel like they'll win their matches against Darren Waller and Saquon Barkley. Like I think they'll find a way to stop the run. But I don't know if Saquon will play. Even without Saquon, the offense definitely looks different. But even with Saquon on there, it definitely looks the same. So I think the Seahawks defense definitely finds a way to slow down the Giants' offense, give Daniel Jones some issues, and force him to throw some bad passes and all that. So yeah, I think the Seahawks win this game here, and I think they cover. Absolutely, I'm gonna take the points with the Giants. I think the Giants keep this one close and competitive because I think Daboll's gonna try to blitz. Because I think Martindale likes to blitz, and I think Martindale's gonna find a way to blitz Geno in this game and all that. So I'm gonna say the Seahawks win 23-17 or 30-24, something like that. So I'm going to say the Seahawks are going to try to win this game here on the road. Even though it's in New York, I think Seahawks win because I think they're a more complete team. And I think Geno's the better quarterback than Daniel Jones. And have a better coach as well. So, yeah. So I'm going to take the Giants with the points. But And also, I think the Seahawks are gonna, even though the Giants secondary is pretty good, I think the Seahawks offense are gonna win their matchups with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson and Jigaba. I think they'll win their matches against the Giants corners and their safeties as well. And I think their O-line, even though the Giants O-line is pretty good, I think the Seahawks defense can win their matchup in that game too and get pressure. Because I think their pass rush is gonna be legit in this game. It's gonna be pretty good. So I think the Giants. I'll take the Giants with the points, but the Seahawks will win the game. Well, those are all my Week 4 picks for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you disagree with me, and also thank you guys for watching. If you disagree with me, just let me know in the comment below what you guys think about your Week 4 prediction, and pick who you want to win Week 4. Well, those are all my predictions for Week 4. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later next video. Peace.